Welcome back to Money Talks. I'm Alex, and this is episode number 6.
6?
Today, we're diving into the struggles and successes.
Yeah.
And really those game-changing lessons from entrepreneurs who turned every no into a yes. So tune in to learn how you can do the same.
Definitely.
Joining me for this deep dive is Sarah, a resident expert on all things entrepreneurship.
Thanks for having me, Alex. I'm excited to dig into this.
So we're tackling the amazing Martha Stewart today, a true icon who has seen her fair share of ups and downs.
She has.
Have you ever thought about how her journey could apply to anyone starting their own business?
Absolutely. Her story really resonates, especially those early days.
Yeah.
Martha wasn't handed success.
Right.
She started in Jersey City, and her early life actually played a big part in shaping her future.
Okay, let's rewind a bit. What was it about her childhood that set her up for success? I know some folks listening might think, what does Jersey City have to do with building a business empire?
It's fascinating, right? A lot of sources point to her parents. They were big on teaching her domestic skills, cooking, gardening, things we now associate with Martha Stewart.
So it wasn't just like, here's how you bake a cake.
Yeah.
It was more about the values behind it.
Exactly. It instilled a strong work ethic in her and really nurtured her creativity.
Yeah.
These seemingly simple things laid the groundwork for her entrepreneurial spirit.
Right.
You know, it makes you wonder how many budding entrepreneurs out there have similar stories. Maybe their early experiences are shaping their current ventures without them even realizing it.
That's a great point. Think back to your own childhood, folks. What were you surrounded by? What values were instilled in you? Maybe your path to success is already being paved. Now, Sarah Martha didn't start out as a homemaker, did she?
Nope. She started her career on Wall Street as a stockbroker.
Wall Street, that's a pretty big leap from crafting and cooking. It doesn't seem like the obvious path to becoming a domestic guru.
It does seem surprising, but think about the skills she might have gained there. Finance strategy, understanding markets. These things would prove to be invaluable later on.
So it's like those seemingly unrelated experiences actually contributed to her success down the line.
Yeah.
I get it. So when did she finally return to her love of all things homemaking?
In the 1970s, she took the plunge and started a catering business right from her basement.
A classic entrepreneurial tale, starting small and dreaming big. But what made her stand out from all the other caterers out there?
What's interesting is that even back then, Martha was known for her incredible attention to detail.
Okay.
She went above and beyond creating an experience, not just providing food.
Right.
There's actually a quote from her that captures this perfectly. She said, "The ultimate goal is to be an interesting, useful, wholesome person. If you're successful on top of that, then you're way ahead of everybody."
I love that. It's like she knew from the beginning that it was about more than just the product. It was about building a brand around her values and personality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it paid off within a decade. Her tiny basement operation turned into a $1 million business.
Wow.
She had a clear vision and stuck to it.
That's impressive. The great reminder for all of you listening, the power of staying true to your vision and building a strong brand can lead to some serious success. But we all know that Martha's story doesn't end there. We're just scratching the surface of her journey. How did this catering business transform into the massive empire we know today?
Well, she didn't stop at catering. What's fascinating is how Martha strategically built her empire piece by piece.
Right.
It wasn't just about growing bigger, it was about diversifying and controlling her brand's message across different platforms.
So she understood the power of not putting all her eggs in one basket. What did that look like in the early days?
In 1990, she launched Martha Stewart Living, the magazine.
Okay.
It quickly gained a loyal following, and then came the TV show with the same name.
Yeah.
Suddenly, she was everywhere. Magazines, television merchandise. She was a true lifestyle guru.
She really understood how to connect with her audience in different ways. And then in 1997, she consolidated all of these ventures under one roof. Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia, or MSLO. That was a power move, right?
Absolutely. By bringing everything together, she had complete control over her brand's image and message.
Yeah.
That's a huge lesson for entrepreneurs today. Think about how many successful brands leverage multiple platforms, social media podcasts, online stores.
Yeah.
It's all about reaching a wider audience and building a loyal following.
It's not enough to just have a great product or service anymore.
Right.
You need to tell your story in a compelling way and be where your audience is.
Yeah.
Martha was ahead of the curve on that.
She absolutely was. She knew her audience was looking for inspiration and guidance on how to live a more beautiful and fulfilling life, and she delivered that across every platform.
Yeah.
This carefully crafted image combined with her business savvy led to a historic moment in 1999.
You're talking about MSLO going public, right?
That's right. And with that, Martha became the first self-made female billionaire in the United States. A true testament to her hard work, vision, and entrepreneurial spirit.
It's incredibly inspiring, especially for women entrepreneurs. But as we know, her journey wasn't all sunshine and roses.
Right.
There was a major bump in the road, the 2004 insider trading scandal that must have been devastating, both personally and professionally.
Absolutely. It was a major setback. No doubt she was convicted, served time in prison, and faced intense public scrutiny.
Yeah.
Many thought this would be the end of Martha Stewart.
But she's a fighter, right? She didn't just disappear. How did she bounce back from something so significant? What can we learn from that experience?
Well, firstly, she owned her mistakes. She didn't try to hide from the scandal. She served her time and then focused on rebuilding her brand.
So it's about taking responsibility and focusing on what you can control.
Exactly. And she didn't shy away from the public eye either. She returned to television with The Martha Stewart Show and continued expanding her brand through new partnerships and product lines. It was like she was saying, I'm back and I'm better than ever.
That's a powerful message. It's so inspiring to see someone refusing to let a setback define them.
And her message resonated with people. She didn't pretend everything was perfect.
Yeah.
She embraced her imperfections and showed the world that it's possible to overcome adversity and come back stronger. It's like that quote we mentioned earlier, don't give up, defend your ideas, but be flexible. Success seldom comes in exactly the form you imagine.
It's about adapting to changing circumstances and never losing sight of your vision. That's a valuable lesson for anyone, entrepreneur or not.
Yeah.
So we've seen her rise to success, her fall from grace, and her incredible comeback.
Right.
But what about Martha Stewart today? What's she up to these days?
What's really interesting is how she's managed to stay relevant in an ever-evolving media landscape. She's embraced new trends, collaborated with unexpected partners, and continued to innovate.
Give us some examples. What's she been doing to keep her brand fresh and exciting?
Well, I think a lot of people were surprised, myself included, by her partnership with Snoop Dogg on a cooking show.
That was a stroke of genius. It challenged people's perceptions of her brand and brought in a whole new demographic.
It was definitely unexpected seeing Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg cooking together, but it worked. It showed that she's willing to take risks and have some fun.
Exactly, and that's a key part of her longevity. She's not afraid to evolve, try new things, and push boundaries. It's almost like she's living by her motto. I have two mottos. One is learn something new every day, and the second one is when you're through changing, you're through.
She embodies that motto perfectly.
Yeah.
It's a powerful message for all of us, no matter what stage of life we're in. It's never too late to learn something new, try something different, reinvent ourselves.
You know, when you think about it, Martha Stewart's story isn't just about business, it's about life. It's about resilience, adaptability, and the willingness to embrace change. Those are qualities we can all aspire to cultivate. Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground today, from humble beginnings to a multimedia empire, from legal challenges to an amazing comeback. Martha Stewart's journey is truly remarkable. What stands out to you most, Sarah?
What strikes me is that through it all, she never lost sight of her core values, that commitment to excellence, that passion for creativity, that desire to make everyday life more beautiful. Those things remain constant throughout her career.
And that's a powerful lesson for all of us, no matter what challenges we face. It's important to stay true to ourselves and the things that matter most.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, we've learned a lot today about building a brand, overcoming obstacles, and staying relevant. Martha Stewart's story is a reminder that success isn't a straight line. There will be ups and downs, but it's how you handle those challenges that truly defines you. So what are your takeaways for our listeners today, Sarah?
I think the biggest takeaway from Martha's journey is the power of reinvention. She constantly evolved, adapted to new landscapes, and found fresh ways to express her creativity and entrepreneurial spirit. She shows us that change shouldn't be feared, but embraced. And it's not just about external reinvention, changing careers, or launching new businesses. It's also about internal reinvention, always learning, growing, and challenging ourselves to become better.
That's a great point. She never stopped learning, growing, pushing herself to evolve. And that's something we can all apply to our own lives, whether we're entrepreneurs or not.
Exactly. Always be learning, always be growing.
Well said. Sarah, thanks for joining me today and sharing your insights on Martha Stewart.
It was my pleasure, Alex.
And to all of you listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive on Money Talks. We'll catch you next time.